going to have a new eligible player at Firestone. And Jimmy St. John is the man that has been eliminated from that list. It's a static list, and if there's a new champion, the man at the bottom of the ladder goes off.
Here's Jimmy McHugh, who is 26 years old. Hey, were you talking about Don Johnson before? Don's 31 years old. You're right, but I thought you meant Jimmy McHugh. He's only 26.
Yeah, John's been around a while. I remember him as a young kid, and he's 31, 32 years old. Of course, he might be lying about his age in the press releases. I've been doing that for years. Don't tell Carmen Salvino my real age.
52, isn't it?
Thanks a lot, bud.
Okay, here's Gus Lampo. He's gone all the way through, looking for his first win. A bachelor from Endicott, New York.
Although you talk about 50s, I'm trying to get our executive director, Eddie Elias, to start a seniors division, 50 and over. And in a few years, there are only going to be a few in there. Fazio, Carter ain't too far away, Weber, you know, Blues. I hope Blues is listening.
Then all you guys will come out of the woods to declare your real
I'll come
age.
out of the woods. At over 50, I might have a chance.
And Gus starting right out. And Gus has had 25 strikes here this afternoon. Tell me, is it the pressure on Gus Lampo, who's bowled 4 games, or is on Jimmy McHugh, had to sit there and watch Gus bowl?
Well, there's several kinds of pressure. To your question, Bud, it's in Gus's favor that he's been out there bowling. First of all, he's in motion. He knows the angle of the lanes now better than Jimmy does. Money-wise, the pressure comes from Fellow. But it's in Lampo's favor because he's played out there for a while. It's really on Jimmy McHugh because he's been practicing over to the side.
Well, he's down by 10. Slight of build, 5'8", 125 pounds.
In slow motion, we look at the form of Jimmy McHugh, and look at this. When I talked about the hook ball, you think he isn't cranking? Look at that leg, and look at that cupped wrist, and look how he goes around that shot.
Jimmy last season won 12,658 to place 39th in the list, and Gus Lampo was 12,150. Quite similar to records last year. But he's down by 11 right now. His best finish prior to this tournament has been 5th. He's from Newark, New Jersey, now living in New York City.
Shows you what these new young players on the scene can do, Bud. Takes time, but they're coming on.
They like that one.
There you can see the footwork in slow motion. Very deliberate. You notice how he places the foot, the crossover to keep the line straight. Now there's the knee bend. Look at that. That's power personified.
Gus in the third. Lampo leading by 11. I didn't know whether that was going to come in or not.
Good release, Bud. It didn't come in as solid, but where the ball might deflect and not get the 5, it had enough roll, good fingers, and it blew the 5 out on the light hit.
And Ski Foremski tells us Gus is ahead by 21 as he moves to the 4th.
Boy, wouldn't this be some win? 11,000 and all those other ones, plus an entry into Firestone, 25,000 first place there. Looks good. Now, Bud, let's look at it. We just talked about, you just asked me the question about the light hit. We talked about the blowout 5. Here's the same thing. Now, right at the point of release, see that how quickly the ball went out of his hand? Now watch it. Watch it deflect.
Right
over there, way over to the right. The ball didn't have enough stuff on it to go on through and get the 5.
Well, we can't give him $10,000. That goes for a perfect game on live television. But he leads by 11 right now. And we'll be back with more of the final match between Jim McHugh and Gus Lampo in just a moment. for you, Billy Whaley. That's Joe Kelly, who's president of the Showboat. Stayed here last night. Very fine. Frank Mirabelli got me a great room and right convenient. Just step right over here from a room.
Well, they have a lot of great rooms here, and they're going to have more. There's a high-rise going up, and I'm sure the WIBC will be pleased to know that because the Showboat Hotel in Lanes has been chosen as the site of the 1973 WIBC tournament. Stay on the grounds and bowl in the lanes. But in slow motion, we'll see another deflecting. There you go. Ball deflects to the right, to 5-7. Got a little fast. You can't be. The lane is highly polished.
By the way, next
Made
week...
it. Oh! He had that.
Saying next week, our bowling at Arcadia, which is the Don Carter Open in California, will be at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, not 3:30. 3 p.m. is the start next week. Don't forget, coming up next, Wide World of Sports, figure skating, and analysis of the Super Bowl. And Jimmy's getting himself deep in a hole here. That'll help. I understand that charmer there has been with Jimmy McHugh all week.
That's not the policeman. That's her guard. That's security. She's pretty as she... You need a security guard in this town, pretty as these ladies are. I've been watching so many women, my neck's stiff.
Gus Lampo now. Footwork. My reaction, just followed the crowd's reaction.
Here's a great break. You see, they're almost through the heart. Gets the break on the split. Of course, he has a nice lead, but it's this type of thing that turns a match around. But talking about the pretty ladies here, I don't want to miss the good food and the good shows. Of course, you have a chance to lose a few coins. But if you had to pick one city in the world to go to, of course, I know you're a skier. But do you like this city?
And now. Gus leads by 32 pins now. Tomorrow, another great live show on ABC. It's the New York Knicks against the Seattle Supersonics. That's at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. NBA basketball tomorrow. Next Saturday and Sunday, live, the Andy Williams San Diego Open, also on ABC. And we'll be back with the Boulders Tour at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's next Saturday, too.
He's comfortable. I said comfortable talking about his lead. He'd have been uncomfortable if he'd have gotten a split. And
Sure would have.
He was very lucky. He's slow now, Bud.
Now both bowlers are questioning their approach to the line right now. Jimmy McHugh was looking down, and Gus did the same thing.
Well, again, I mentioned earlier about you don't have a coach down there to say, well, you're a little slow or you're not turning the ball or whatever. You got to think it out for yourself. I mentioned about a coach can help the player. Not only that, if the player isn't doing too good, they take him out of the game. This guy can't get out there if he wants to. He's got to finish.
Well, Jimmy needs some strikes here to pull himself up, trailing by 31 pins.
What do you call that? That's a mixing strike. That's a hit 'em thin and watch 'em spin kind of strike, Bud. And we talked to Jimmy about, well, how about his great week? There you see the strike, but this is what Jimmy had to say, interestingly enough, about his game.
Well, Billy, I've been practicing on my spares a lot harder and concentrating. And here in this tournament, when I was usually shooting 2-0s, I was missing 2 or 3 spares. But here, there's 2 tournaments and 2 spares in 42 games, which I ended up shooting 2 30s instead of 2 0s when I was missing those spares.